Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. So ahead of Game Week 6 deadline, I thought I'd do a wildcard draft and show you the players that I'd be buying if I was using the chip. I'm potentially not going to use the chip, I'm probably going to save it for later on. But if your team does need a wildcard, this could be for you. So first of all, here's a fixture ticker for the next 10 games and all the best fixtures are at the top. So if you are using the wildcard chip this game week, maybe you screenshot this video. Then you've got the fixtures in hand if you need them to have a look over. But as you can see, Bournemouth, Man City, Man United, Arsenal and Chelsea are at the top, with Sunderland, Crystal Palace and Aston Villa at the bottom. So with them 10 fixtures in mind, let's build a squad. And in goal, I've gone with Donnarumma and Dubravka. My thinking with this plan is I haven't got many Man City players that I actually want to buy. I've got Haaland, obviously, maybe a midfielder as in Rinders. I don't really want to touch many of the defenders because I think they're all a bit of a rotation risk. We've got Guardiola and Aït-Nouri, but I'm not too sure if they will start all the time. Maybe they'll get bench one of them. So I don't really want to run that risk. And I'm thinking if you buy Raya, you're probably losing your third Arsenal slot. And I think you're probably going to get a defender in Gyökeres. And then you've used all three of your Arsenal slots. And if Saka comes back fit, I think you will want him in your side and you won't be able to get him unless you make 2 transfers and sell him one of your Arsenal players. But if you already think that you don't want Saka in your side anyway, then maybe you go with Raya. I'm not against that. But for me, with the wildcard, I'll probably go with Donnarumma because from game week 13, his fixtures are really good as well, where Arsenal's fixtures turn. And then you've got Raya in goal, where the fixtures are turning worse. I don't really need to talk about Dubravka. He's a 4 million goalkeeper. He's starting all the time for Burnley. He's the only goalkeeper at 4 million that's actually starting all the time. And actually, when Donnarumma has really hard fixtures, Dubravka actually rotates really well with him, but I don't think you'd be probably doing that. Then into defence, I've got Van der Ven, and I've only really picked him for the next 2 fixtures because they're really good. After that, they start to turn difficult because they had all the easy fixtures at the start of the season. If you think they're going to keep that form up, then I'd buy him. If you don't really want to book in a transfer on wildcard, then I probably wouldn't, and I'll go for somebody at Brighton, maybe Decupio, because he's got attacking returns potentially in the future. He's been unlucky at the moment to not get them, and in game week 7, Decupio could come into your side when you need somebody in defence. Then next we've got Senesi. He's been a DEFCON monster so far this season, and I think he'll carry that on. Bournemouth have got the best fixtures for the next 10, so I think he could easily keep a clean sheets and get a lot of DEFCON points, so I think he'll be definitely in everybody's side if you were using a wildcard. Then we've got Tosin, and Chelsea's fixtures are alright. They've got Liverpool in the next few, but after that they're not that hard. And when you've got rid of Sanchez and you haven't got a Chelsea asset, I think he could be really good for the price he is. Then we've got Gabriel, and I know everybody that's building a wildcard will have an Arsenal defender in the side. From game week 7, the fixtures turn good for Arsenal. And Arsenal have proven over the last few seasons that they're really good for keeping clean sheets and also stopping teams having chances. If you did sell Van der Ven and get Decupia, then obviously you bring De Gabriel into your side for this game week. I just thought the 3 defenders that are in the starting 11, they've got easier fixtures and more chance of keeping a clean sheet. But obviously I favour Gabriel clean sheet instead of Decupia's. And then the last defender is Anderson, and Fulham's fixtures aren't the greatest for the next few. But the game weeks when you do need to rotate your side because they've got hard fixtures in the starting 11, Anderson rotates really well with them. Anderson's been really good for getting DEFCON points this season, and from game week 10 I think a lot of managers will be wanting to buy him. So I'd just get him now and then you're not booking in a transfer later on. Then into midfield, and I've got Rinders, and the next 3 fixtures are really good for Man City. Then they've got 3 game weeks where they've got tricky fixtures against Bournemouth, Liverpool and Newcastle. But after that, in game week 13, the fixtures turn really good, so I think you probably just hold on to him and keep him until then. Then next we've got Ndiaye, and he's not locked into my side like Van der Ven. Them 2 are the 2 that are not locked into my side. Them are the 2 players that I added in last, and I'm not too sure about them. Ndiaye's been unlucky not to get many goals and assists so far this season, but the fixtures aren't the greatest, so you could potentially go for somebody like Rodgers, or you could potentially go for someone like Anthony Gordon if you've got the money, because Newcastle's fixtures turn better. He's finished his suspension now, and I think he will start getting a lot of goals and assists for Newcastle. Then we've got Semenyo, and he started off the season really well, and I think he should be in your wildcard team. Yes, he's got some hard fixtures in game week 10 and 11, but the way he started the season, I think he is essential in FPL. There isn't that many midfielders at that price that are actually getting consistent points, and I think he's one of the only ones. Then on a wildcard, I would get Cole Palmer back into my side. He came off the bench at the weekend and scored, and then he scored away against Bayern Munich, and he got 1 disallowed in that game. So I wouldn't be building a wildcard squad and not having Cole Palmer in it. And then the 5th midfielder, I would get King. I've saved the money on him so I can spend more money on the forwards. And I think with the forwards that I've picked, I wouldn't be rotating them at all. So he could sit on your bench and he could potentially come in for Ndiaye or Rinders if you need to. And then for the forwards, I've got Gyökeres. I'm using my second Arsenal slot on him, and then I'm saving the 3rd slot for Saka, but if we get an update that Saka isn't back for a good few weeks, then maybe you just get Raya and forget about him. But I think if he is back in the next few weeks, you will want him in your side. I don't think you want to make a transfer and swapping your goalkeeper out at that point. So I think saving the Arsenal spot is better, but you can just buy Raya if you want. Then we've got João Pedro with Liam Delap out for a couple of months. He's going to be the main man. I think the only reason Pedro came off with 10 minutes left at the weekend was because we've got Bayern Munich and Man United this week. But I think he's locked into Chelsea's side. And then last of all, we've got Haaland. And as I said with the other two City players, the fixtures are really good. At home against Burnley, I don't think you should be building a wildcard and not having him in your side. I think he's definitely the captain for this game week because you've used your wildcard chip. You can't actually triple captain this game week. But I do think if you wildcarding in game week 6, I think everybody will have Haaland in the side. And I don't think that's wrong. I think it's a smart move because I think everybody that's using the transfers this game week will be buying Haaland into the side or trying to find a way to get him into the side with the transfers. I feel like a lot of managers are rolling the transfer just with this in mind, just to sell Salah and get Haaland in the side. So don't feel bad that you haven't got Salah in your side because a lot of managers will be selling him this game week as well. So last of all, I just wanted to show you what the side would look like if you made them two transfers. So you'd sell Van de Ven and get De Gea, then you'd sell Ndiaye and get Gordon. I know I spent 0.1 million over the budget, but I'm hoping some of these players you've got in your side and you've got the price rises on them. If I was cutting corners and trying to save money to be able to afford it, then I'd probably sell Gordon, and it would be either to go back to Ndiaye or potentially get Rodgers. Aston Villa have got two good fixtures and they could turn the form around and start scoring goals, and Rodgers could be one of them players that gets the goals and assists. So there we have it from the Game Week 6 wildcard draft. Hit the subscribe button if you found this useful. Get in the comment section and let me know what you would change out of this side. And if you're using the chip, how many of these players have you got in your draft at the moment? I'd love to know how many players we've got the same. I will say after building this wildcard draft, I do think Game Week 8 is probably the better game week to wildcard. But it does depend on your squad. If you're sick of your side and you're lowly ranked, then maybe you use it. It's all team dependent, and if you've got a really bad squad and you really need to use your chip, then use it. But if you can soldier on with transfers, I think Game Week 8 is better because the tricky fixtures are out the way for some of these sides and then you don't have to worry about them. I will do another video for a Game Week 8 wildcard, so hit subscribe so you can see that video when it's released. My current plan is to try and hold off until Game Week 13, but I do think I might potentially use it in Game Week 8. So I feel like I'm using a lot of transfers to fix my side to try and get a side that everybody else has got. So why not just use the wildcard chip and get the squad that I actually want, than having to keep making surgery to my side every game week and wait until the next game week to actually buy a player that I actually want. And at least I can get them all in one big sweep and then I'm not having to do it over a lot of game weeks. Or -4 just to stay up with everybody else. I worry if I use my wildcard in game week 13, I'll be falling behind everybody, and by game week 13 I would have lost the points in the process. And one of the worries that I have with wildcarding in game week 13 is everybody will get 5 transfers in game week 16, so everybody that I buy, everybody will just buy in game week 16 anyway, so I'm not really getting an edge. The only positive is I can use my transfers to get ahead of everybody else in the upcoming game weeks after it, where everybody's just trying to get the players that I've got. I'll see how I get on in game week 5, 6 and 7, then I'll make a decision before game week 8. But I'll probably start to know what I'm going to do before then because I'll start using my transfers in a different way. If it's either just buying players just to fix my squad and get for the next few, or maybe just get players for the long term. Anyway, this video's gone on long enough. I hope you enjoyed it. Signing off, and I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.